would you beat Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think first, there's a great contrast in the records. Hillary Clinton, she's tried to distance herself from her record quite clearly. She's trying to erase some of it, but that which we have, we know has not worked. I have a clear record both in the private sector and in the public sector. I offer an appreciation for the fact that jobs are created in the private sector. I've run factories, lived overseas, worked overseas, and in the executive branch, I have a clear record of implementing the laws as written. Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, has stated that the president's executive order on immigration didn't go far enough. I don't think that's right, and I think Americans are looking for someone who will implement the laws as written, look for constructive solutions, and move the country forward. I think she's going to be seen as extreme.
So what would you do on immigration?
On immigration, I advocate rewriting our legal immigration system to bring in Americans who can contribute to the growth of our economy, strengthening the border and interior enforcement, providing E-Verify so that those who are authorized to work, they're the only ones who can get jobs. As you do those things, then you've choked off future illegal immigration. You have a better system going forward. You're left with the question of the 11 million people who are here. If you've been operating legally, other than being here illegally, part of the community, working, paying your taxes, I suggest that yes, I want those people to have a path to citizenship. I want that because we need to renew and reinforce our tradition of assimilation. If we're going to move forward as one America and be able to confront the challenges of radical Islam, we can't have a fracturing of America. So I want us all in together doing this. If we do a comprehensive program, I suggest we do all those things.
Oklahoma has a lot of military bases, and Congress and the administration for years have been shutting down, closing, and reorganizing lots of military bases. And even Republicans now are talking about cutting defense spending. Where do you stand on base closures, on defense spending?
One of my 4 planks is that we need to get our spending under control. We need to reform our entitlements. The deficits have declined as a percentage of the GDP, but they will rapidly go back up, and the debt as a percentage of GDP will become unbearable. So we need to act, and act now. If we do that, if we put in my competitive tax plan, we'll get the economy growing again. Then we'll be able to afford investment in our military. I'm particularly concerned with the Navy, which has been drawn down and is so important in terms of projecting our power and our commercial interests overseas. We're only going to be able to do these things if we clean up the tax code and get an economy that grows again and controls the spending, because if we don't, all the entitlements will just eat our lunch and squeeze out all government spending.
What do you think is the biggest problem with the Republican Party that needs to be changed?
I think we need to embrace principles of constitutional conservatism, but also reach out to others who are in the center. I don't believe, the pundits would tell you that the country has 2 camps and there's very little contested ground. I don't think that's right. I've been in 30 states in the last 2 years. I think there's some people who are hard on the left and hard on the right, but there are many who are center-left who would come over onto the center-right side if the policies that are set forth are constructive, they're based in facts, and they're not seen as just serving political interest, special interest, or moneyed interest. So we need to build a case that's for America and not just for Republicans.
You said that you support reinstating the military draft. That seems to be at odds with sort of Republican ideas of individual liberty. How do you square those?
I don't think it's at odds with individual liberty at all. It's about service to the nation. It's about shared sacrifice. My grandfather fought in World War I. My dad was in the OSS in China in World War II. My uncle was in Korea. I know numerous people were in Vietnam, and now if you look at where we are, we have an isolation of the elites from day-to-day Americans. And the military is isolated largely from rank and file Americans. We need to correct that so that we again move forward as a democracy. And I think Republicans, if you believe in national security, then I think you need to believe in shared sacrifice.